And now to our first conversation. The CBN has reportedly secured an order to freeze bank accounts of 6 online investment platforms for 180 days or 6 months. The CBN is alleging that they are engaged in illegal foreign exchange transactions, accessing procuring of foreign exchange via their banks from the Nigerian foreign exchange market via the several BDC operators, international money transfer operators, and have transferred cash deposit of more than $10,000 to various accounts overseas, contrary to provisions of the extent of laws and regulations, and also traded in foreign securities and cryptocurrencies in contravention to the CBN. Channels Television has reached out to the regulator for a reaction, but is yet to get a response on the matter. Meanwhile, two of the affected fintech companies, Bamboo and RiseVest, have reacted to the freeze order. According to them, their team and government team is looking into the matter. They also assure that investments and operations are safe. Well, we have Maiwa Ojaye, Head of Communications, RiseVest, one of the affected fintechs, joining us now. Great to have you on the program. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so the CBN says it needs 180 days for investigation. What happens to investor funds during this period?
So nothing really happens to their funds because our investors are really affected by this. So yes, we enable dollar investments, but at the end of the day, people fund in Naira and we pay returns in Naira. So investors can continue to invest as usual. They'll continue to have access to their funds. So funding and withdrawal goes on as usual while the courts is looking into this.
So during this 180 days, during this investigation, has the CBN reached out to you? You know, what is your activity or your conversation along this line of the allegations that are leveled against you?
Well, so first of all, I think we should make it clear that the CBN has a right to regulate FX policies, and we respect that. On our part, we have always and we will continue to engage regulators to make sure that all the issues that are raised are properly and swiftly resolved, so that we can continue to do our work in a safe, compliant, and beneficial way.
What impact is this likely to have on other fintech startups as well as the financial system?
Well, so what is currently happening is, you can call it like the birthing panels of innovation. So this is to be expected. The fintech is still relatively new, so there needs to be a lot of understanding about what kind of business models that fintech companies operate with for the regulators. So this is to be expected, but I'm pretty sure that as we continue to engage, we'll always find a middle ground so that we can operate rightly.
All right, so yeah, so there are also talks that a lot of startups and fintech are not contributing to the economy. Like, yes, Nigerians invest, but they are not giving back. We don't see them in tax. We don't see them, you know, at the stock exchange. You know, we're not feeling their impact. So what would be your reaction as a startup? What would be your reaction to this?
Well, to answer this, I need to say that Rise's mission is essentially to connect Nigerians to the best investments so that they can grow financially and in turn support the growth of the Nigerian economy. There's a lot of growth happening internationally, and we want to tap into that growth, but bring that money back home. So what we do is essentially give the everyday Nigerian access to those opportunities so that they can then bring the money back home to grow the economy. So we do contribute to the economy. We create jobs. As for Rise, we're currently working on a platform that is supposed to showcase Nigerian businesses and package them so that they can attract foreign investment. A lot of fintech companies also attract foreign investors into the country, putting Nigeria on the map. So we do contribute our quota to the Nigerian economy.
All right, what kind of regulation or policies would you like to see, or would you prefer that the CBN put in place to avoid a repeat of this in the future?
So there's currently a lot of talks going on between not just fintechs, but startups in general and regulations. I can't really speak to that here, but a lot of fintechs are working on licenses to make sure that they operate legally, and we're sure that the regulators have our best interests at heart, and we're sure that at the end of the day, we'll be able to have licenses or regulations that allow us to operate freely.
All right, so the federal government has for a while now been talking about ease of doing business. When you look at the Nigerian environment, as objective as you can, I must add that, how easy is it to operate a business in Nigeria?
Well, there's certainly room for improvement, but I think that we can say that it's improving daily, and I think that our rankings are improving daily as well. We're not quite where we should be, but we are on the up and up. So in the nearest future, I'm sure that we'll be right there, maybe top 5, top 10 rank of global ease of doing business.
But what would you like to see? You know, what would you like the government, what steps do you think the government can take to actually make it easier, especially, you know, for the young people who are very active in ICT these days? They have a lot of, you know, very creative ideas. You know, what do you think can be put in place to help them actualize these ideas and mop up unemployment in the country?
So I think the answer is not exactly what they need to put in place, but what I think the first step should be, and I think that's already happening. At the earlier stages of innovation, there needs to be a lot of conversation happening between the government, the regulators, and the players in the innovation sector. We need more of that, because I think that most of these regulations come as a result of not really understanding the opportunities that abound in technology and how we can impact just everyday people, how we can level the playing field, and, you know, democratize access to wealth. So I do think that there needs to be, first of all, productive conversations happening so that everyone who is involved, every stakeholder, can then state what the next best course of actions should be rather. So I would say we need to start having conversations, governments, regulators, and innovative players first.
Who do you think should be initiating these conversations at this point?
I'm not sure that there is one person. So first, for us, when things like this happen, we try to make ourselves available to either the SEC or the CBN or whoever we need to be speaking to. But since we operate in this country, and I feel like the government should, when they extend a hand, or they should extend a hand and bring the startups in, so that they can really, really understand what exactly is going on and what are the opportunities for growth and how this space can evolve quickly.
So do you have like an association, you know, like a platform where you reach out to the government or you air your view, apart from, you know, like we reached out to you individually? Do you have an association of startups, fintechs, that you can easily, you know, have a stronger voice?
I can't answer that because I'm not really sure. So I don't want to say something that isn't true.
All right, what's your outlook for the fintech industry going forward in Nigeria?
It's great, you know. I think that the sky is just a starting point for us. There are companies every day that cater to every facet of the typical Nigerian. We have platforms for saving, you know, we have new banks coming up as well. So just meeting Nigerians where they are. People helping you send money without having a bank account or without using an account number. So we have the talent, we have the ideas, and we have the markets. So I think that in the next 5, 10 years, what fintech looks like what fintech looks like in the next 5-10 years would be greatly different from what it currently looks like now.
Okay, we do hope it's it's a better look than this one. But
It will be. I think it will be.
okay, I believe so too. I honestly do. So, at times like this, we have seen some not so transparent and honest people taking advantage of the environment, especially since it's a growing one. And so we've heard of people being duped, investments, going the wrong way, which is one of the reasons why the CBN seems to be giving, this kind of action, taking this kind of action and giving this kind of attention. So what would be your word to Nigerians who would see, oh, there's a lot of fintech activity going on. They try to attract you and say, oh, you can invest in this and get this. What would be your advice to some potential investors? What should they look out for so they don't fall into the wrong hand?
So my first advice would be that wealth is built slowly. So the reason why people fall victims to things like this is, they want to cash out really quickly. But one of the things that RISE does is, part of our mission is also to educate people about how what the right way to build wealth is. So for example, we have a thriving community of over 12,000 Nigerians where we teach financial literacy and we coach people on increasing their income. Once a month, we have a club meeting where we bring people who are financial experts or who are established in the field to come talk to people. For this month, we're currently going to speak to someone who's authored a book on financial freedom. So that there's a knowledge gap. A lot of people do not really understand what a good investment is. They want to get a ridiculous amount of ROI or a returns on their investment in 3 months, and that's not how it's done. Which is why earlier on I said we respect the fact that the CBN and the SEC are regulating this space because yes, there are people who have taken advantage of Nigerians. But for fintechs, for RISE especially, we are regulated and we have ensured not to contravene any laws. And users or clients on RISE can rest assured that all their funds are safe and secure.
All right, well, that's good to know. That's good to know, but we do hope that this is sorted out in a jiffy, for future references. Well, thank you so much, Mayowa Wojaye, Head of Communication at RISE Vest, for spending some time with us this morning.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Yeah.